Good morning. Greetings to all of us. The Honorable Mr. Muhammad Shamsu Iqbal, ST, MT, PhD, as the Dean of Faculty of Engineering, University of Mataram. The Honorable Mr. Professor Jun Sok Hong, as the main speaker, and the Seoul National University team. The Honorable Mr. Iwayan Agus Arimbawa, ST, Master of Engineering, as the moderator of our event this morning. The Honorable Mr. and Mrs. of invited guests, and last but not least, our students and colleges of University of Mataram who attend this event happily. Praise and gratitude we pray to God Almighty so that we can all attend our event this morning in good condition. Before entering the main event, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all attendees who have taken the time to attend the General Lecture 2022 event titled Smart City Global Convergence this morning. We have several agendas this morning, which are: the first one is opening, second one is singing the national anthem of Indonesia, third, singing the national anthem of South Korea, fourth, chanting prayers, fifth, greetings as well as the opening by the Dean of Faculty of Engineering, University of Mataram, sixth, documentation session, seventh, presentation of general lecture by the Professor Jun Sok Hong of Seoul National University, 8, question and answer session, and the last one is closing. The next agenda is singing the national anthem of Indonesia, followed by the national anthem of South Korea. To all of the audience in the room, please stand up. Ladies and gentlemen are welcome to have a seat back. Moving on, the next agenda is chanting a prayer which will be guided by our lecturer, Mr. Ari Aranta. Time and place are yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me lead prayers in Islamic way. Ladies and gentlemen, please be willing to adjust according to their respective beliefs. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oh Allah, bestow mercy in our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on his family, on his companion, and also send greetings to them. Oh Allah, today we are gathered here in educational activities between Seoul National University and University of Mataram, discuss the unrivaled talks to give the best contribution to our nation. Therefore, Allah, make our event smooth, bless, fill this meeting with kindness from the beginning to the end. Amin, 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 ya rabbal alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Our thanks go to Mr. Ari Aranta as the prayer reader. The next agenda is greetings as well as opening the event by the Dean of Faculty of Engineering, University of Mataram, Mr. Muhammad Syamsu Iqbal, STMT, PhD. Time and place are yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Annyeonghaseyo. Thank you for this great opportunity for me, but I'm really sure that you don't want to listen me to deliver my speech, so that's why I will deliver my speech in very short, because you are all now waiting for the lecture from Professor Huang from the Seoul National University. So while we are waiting for the speaker coming to this place, let ask me to thank to all of you, the honorable guests, the distinguished speakers that will be coming, and all the participants of this event. Most of you are the students in University Mataram, University of Mataram, or Universitas Mataram. So I'm very glad and very happy to be here to accompany you to attend this general lecture that is conducting in English, inshallah. But of course, in this very beginning step of our activity to face the vision of our university, that is UNRAM will be the research-based university and the globally recognized university in a very short time, in 2025. It means that it just almost 3 years later. It's not quite long. It is very short time, just 3 years. We will be the globally recognized university. That's why most of our activities now are conducted in the global language, in the global way how to communicate in the context of global. That is why we try to conduct most of the activities, the classroom activities, some of them will be conducted in English. So are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, thank you very much. So today, I still want to deliver my speech in bilingual to make you realize that we should practice our English, but also we try to conduct in the way we understandable each other at least 90%, yeah, so that I will mix my speech also in bahasa. Jadi saya sangat senang mahasiswa UNRAM bersatu di dalam gedung ini untuk mengikuti satu kuliah general lecture yang akan sering kita lakukan di dalam bahasa Inggris. Oleh sebab itu, saya berharap at least mahasiswa yang berada di ruangan ini untuk kemudian mempersiapkan diri di dalam menggunakan bahasa Inggris untuk berbagai aktivitas. Yang kedua, terkait dengan kegiatan kita hari ini, sambil menunggu Prof. Huang, bahwa Seoul National University itu sudah lama menjalin collaboration dengan UNRAM, dimulai dari mungkin 5 tahun yang lalu, starting from 2019 I think, or before ya. Jadi pada waktu Profesor Sunarpi masih menjadi rektor, itu adalah cikal bakal kolaborasi antara UNRAM dengan SNU. Nah, dampak dari kolaborasi itu, beberapa mahasiswa asing dari SNU tentu sebenarnya tidak terlalu asing sebab kalau berfoto itu ya tidak jauh beda gitu, kecuali kalau yang dari negara-negara Eropa memang agak sedikit kelihatan. Nanti Anda mungkin bisa searching kalau ada saya berjoget dengan salah seorang peserta dari Korea, jadi kelihatan tidak asing nanti, kalau apalagi kalau jogetnya joget dangdut gitu. So in this occasion I would like to express my great appreciation to Professor Huang, that is that always accompany us in collaboration between Seoul National University and Universitas Mataram. Seoul National University already provided the scholarship. See you again, Prof. Wang. So I will repeat. In this occasion, I would like to thank Professor Huang for your great contribution to initiate, to promote, and to conduct and participate in the collaboration between Seoul National University and Universitas Mataram. I would also use this occasion to thank you for providing the scholarship for our 2 faculty members that now already finished his study, doctoral study in Seoul National University. Please would you come stand up, Pak Dr. Widi dan Pak Dr. Agus Arimgawa. Pak Widi and Pak Agus have been studying in SNU for around or less than 3 years. So this is very great achievement, because it's not easy to complete PhD program in just less than 3 years. And also I thank Prof. Huang for the next scholarship that you would provide for the next our faculty member, and as informed me that there are at least 2 candidates are now proposing this scholarship. Hope that the 2 or the both faculty member. I see here Pak Sutami. Would you stand up, Pak Sutami? This is the first candidate. Pak Widi and Pak Agus is faculty member in Department of Informatics Engineering, but Pak Sutami is a lecturer or teaching staff at Department of Electrical Engineering. So it means that now our collaboration will be enlarged to other department or even next other faculty. So again, I would like to thanks for your very great contribution to our collaboration. And last but not least, I would like to thank Professor Pasek and teams that is prepare this general lecture by Prof. Huang, and I hope that this will be very beneficial for all the participants. Thank you very much. And I hope that this meeting will be very beneficial also for our institution. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Kamsahamnida. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the speech, Mr. Muhammad Syamsu Iqbal, STMT PhD, as the Dean of Faculty of Engineering, University of Mataram. The next event is the documentation session. Please for all of the documentation team to take place, and also for all of the participants and invited guests, please stay in your seat. The first pose we're gonna do is the formal one. Please smile at the camera on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Or maybe one more time. Look at the camera and smile. Cheese. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so we're gonna do the second pose. And this pose is popular and comes from South Korean, which is the finger heart. Put your fingers together like this, and we're gonna count in Korean as well. Everybody ready? I repeat, everybody ready? Okay, so 하나, 둘, 셋. One more time. 하나, 둘, 셋. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Well, ladies and gentlemen, finally we enter the core of our event this morning, namely the presentation of general lecture by the Professor Jun-Sok Hwang of Seoul National University, which in this case will be guided by our moderators today, to Mr. Iwayan Agus Arimbawa, ST Master of Engineering. We invite you both to take over the event. Time and place are yours.
That's okay. Audience, honorable our deans of engineering and the staffs and the lecturer. We invited here all open for UNRAM participants. We have lecturers. We have students from every faculty, I think, but mostly comes from engineering. We also invite some the audience from the government, for example, the Office of Industry, and mostly we are open for all the lecture to all. So I would like first to introduce our speakers. He is Professor Jun-Sok Hwang. Professor Jun-Sok Hwang is the founder and the director of International Technology Professional Program, ITPP, which gives us, provide the scholarships for further education, master degrees and PhD degrees. And Professor Hwang is also directors of the Global R&D Centers, which provide connection, cooperation to many institutions around the world. So Professor Hwang is also full professor in technology management, economics and policy program. But for me, myself, Professor Hwang is my mentor. Professor Hwang is the father of my thought and philosophy. Professor Hwang is my brother and mission. So by that, I would like to share all that we have there to you all, the audience. We hope that we will build a new mission and a new views of the education, especially in smart city education. This will be so much different from the other and unique, but it will be it will change our views in the futures about how to make a better education. So with no further delay, so we will let Professor Hwang continue to his lecture. Please, Professor.
Selamat pagi. Bagi first of all, I'd like to give my great thanks and appreciation and to honor to all UNNAM faculty member and also the students and all the staff member in Mataram. And first of all, I'd like to thank Dean Iqbal, who have been a friend with me, since he visited also Korea, and in very fierce, cold winter time with the passing honored president, Professor Snappy, and who is also a great leader of your university and country, whom we are missing. I really thank Professor Iqbal for welcoming me, and I see great love and brothership from you, and also my reminder and memory goes back with such a beautiful time I had with Professor Snappy. Let us to give our great respect and to Professor Snappy, inshallah. Yeah. And also I'd like to thank also my friend also in the Department Information Technology, the department head, Professor Pasek, and also Professor Budi, and also now my student being in also PhD professors Ida and also Agus, for them to have a great trust and love with me during the time of journey, that when I'm learning about Lombok, at the same time about UNNAM. I really thank you for all the members who have been together with me. Well, as you hear from my student, my friends right, and brother, Agus, my relationship with UNNAM started with some special meaning of Lombok. Okay, and I'd like to give you that my meaning and understanding about Lombok with the word that the L-O-M-B-O-K. Yeah. Well, I think from the beginning when I come, that was around 2008 or 9, in my memory goes back almost 15 years, and the Lombok was kind of place that I really feel the humanity, the kindness, people caring each other, right? At the same time, I actually got a lot of new knowledges. Sasak, Kakayan, right? And also a lot of cultures and great values that Indonesian community pursue, which I will say the L-O-M-B-O-K represents love of man and blessing of knowledge. Knowledge bloom from the man's thinking and understanding, love on the future or love on themselves, love on life. I felt that there's a flow of love in Lombok because of people, because of young people and also seniors, even very young kids. I really felt the love, and that love of man from Lombok actually attracted me to come here. At the same time, that love turned to be the blessing for me, but eventually it will be for you, the blessing of knowledge. Why? We are all learning in our life, especially the university is a place where I've been holding more than 23 years in Korea and United States, now in Lombok, is a place that is committed to create the new knowledge for the society so that society can be energized and find the direction how we make the world better. Such blessing is already here. I hope all of us create the new knowledges. That knowledge can bless not only Lombok people, but the people in the world. Thank you, and for the blessings that I hope you don't forget the name of Lombok. Love of man, blessing of knowledge. For you. Hey. Well, we are in a society, something called the knowledge society or information society. Maybe during the time of when internet comes and our IT faculty member knows, we've been talking about information society coming and knowledge society. Now, really, we are in the middle of society that everyone is dealing with a lot of more knowledges and data and information than any other generation who have been living in before. So for that regard, how we use and utilize the knowledge and data, those are very important for us to generate and to create, do the role of. Today, I'd like to share with you that my new discipline, which I actually founded 2 years ago back in Korea, to teach the students and people and faculty member and other university to start the new program, is called Smart City Global Convergence, which also partly the IDA and also Agus launched as a double major on top of our ITPP. So today, I come here to show you what I'm doing in Korea very recently as a new knowledge, new study, or new department. Soon, from my vision in SNU, it will be another faculty or one college or school, okay? The school, maybe global or school of smart city or smart city studies. So, but I think I will say, why this is a science and why this knowledge can has a great future to be working for the future. So today I'm going to share with you my experience and my vision that the need of graduate education in your university, especially for this direction. So my mission today, just maybe an hour, is probably inspiring you that we need a graduate program to create the knowledge. University is not a place to deliver the knowledge. We can get a lot of knowledge from the society. At the same time, we can get a lot of knowledge from the internet. Right? Right? Then lecturing is not enough. I'm now lecturing, right? If you are not saying and we are not interacting, I'm just lecturing. But if you are not responding, we are not interacting, then it's just me, just same as YouTube. Oh, am I right? Right? Then why you listen to me here? Well, there is different component. Without engagement, without interaction, that is already dialogue and communication. That creates no point of the starting for the knowledge. Many of the things what I do now started just with one meeting by communicating to the friend. But that relationship is a point. We are not talking to the machine. We are not talking to the computer. We are not talking to the stream file. That's why I believe you are here. Then, in order for us to create a knowledge, the man-to-man interaction, very important. But there are a lot of people to have a man-to-man interaction, then large-scale education is very difficult. What it means, if we have like 100 person in one class, one room, how can all 100 people can have a chance to talk to each other in a discussion? Difficult, right? And then how we actually make into the like more of a knowledge generation model, then let them to communicate grouped. How can we do that? There are many ways. One of the invention that university create was a smaller and focused group of those students maybe evolved to the graduate studies and where you study more interactive way and seminar types, right? The reason is they are committed or they are devoted to create the knowledge for the society, not to get a new job, or not to get a better job, or not to get a better pay, not just to be a higher position, no. There's a great need to create the new knowledge because every knowledge, when it gets very common and popular, then it's not that valuable. Everyone knows. But if that is a new knowledge to change the existing knowledge value in the improvement, then that's the respect for that people come and learn and communicate. Where is the engine of knowledge generation? It's a research. By research, not just publication, by research and development, we should be able to create a new value, maybe new theory and new book and new department, new technology, even new job. That's the knowledge we are pursuing. SNU, with almost 77 year of the history after the World War II, we have an independent 45, very similar to you. And then after that, we started our national university. That poorest country created this university into the level that now we have full of researchers with a very strong graduate school, which actually is devoted to create the knowledge. Maybe if I don't create the knowledge, probably Ida and also August may not call me mentor, right? Maybe lecturer, right? Yeah. If you wanna actually be a really mentor to someone, if you wanna be a advisor to someone, then the what you say should be different and unique and special to everyone, and not talking same thing to everyone even. Yes? How such capability can develop? Love, trust, commitment, and communication, and socializing. If that is not developed well, just by looking the paper or looking the video stream, would not let you to be a great mentor or advisor, or counselor or consultant. We are called here to be in the university, to be a knowledge generator who can inspire the people, who can lead the people, who can create the knowledge, so that our society may be fulfilled by our knowledge that may give a direction that what they need. Let me give you a question back to you. What kind of society do you want? What society are you making now? Then how can you make your society what you want for the rest of your life? Where do we do? How can we do? Knowledge. Not knowledge in the book which is already published, right? Because that doesn't help at all. Because that is already used. Then, but because that's been there for a long time, but really the society same, what that means? We need a new knowledge and create. Right, Ibu? Right, Ibu? Yes. That's why I'm here. I want to share the vision that the university has a great man, the love of man, or I say blessed with the knowledge, then we need to commit ourselves to exercise the vision of having a graduate school. Maybe, bloomed in some of the school or, whole university, maybe bloomed from the engineering, right? But engineering is not engineering for engineering for the whole university, that everyone has an engineering entrepreneurial spirit. Even though they are the law degree, even though they are business administrator, accountant. What is engineering mind? Creativity. What is engineering mind? Making. What is engineering mind? Practice. What is engineering mind? Professionalism. What is engineering mind? Energy. Generally, engineering comes from engine. The engine is byproduct to combine technology with or science or mechanic with energy. Am I right? There are steam engines, right? Gas engines, now electric engines, energy. If there's no energy and dynamics and there's no movement, no changes, then we cannot say it's engineering. Okay, so what? No, I'm going to use it. Oh, no. Okay, it was not on. Okay, so yeah, now you felt that, I'm a faculty of engineering, but I work with all the discipline at Seoul National University. That's why what we say integrated major or interdisciplinary studies. I have undergraduate background in mathematics. Okay, mathematics, yes. And also in my undergraduate, I also studied economics. At the time of my when I entered the university at the year of 1985. So you can imagine, right? At the time I'm 18 years old, so you can imagine how old I am, right? 85, right? Maybe your father, maybe some of your grandfather. Anyway, so by the time I studied in such kind of, love for the knowledge, which I really like the mathematics. But over the time, I've been thinking how I can use such knowledge for the society. And for that reason, I have been actually studying other things, right? And the ideology, philosophy, other things, and social science at the same time, computer. So the programming and club and also computer designing circuit, electrical engineering that Professor Iqbal has, I actually designed the circuit at the time. That made me to go to being an engineer in one of the computer company called Hyoseong Computer, which is one of the conglomerate. And I was being a researcher since the 2089. So my first job was an engineer and researcher. That means I have to develop the new computer. Okay, new computer, but with my academic major in mathematics with economics, but my hobby or right? And what I know as a real engineer or computer circuit designer. So I didn't study electrical engineering in the beginning from like a discipline, but I knew how to create a circuit. I knew all the, the gates, and then I went to this company with this research institute where we have to build a new product, computer. So I don't know, maybe some of professors know, maybe IBM XT, right, 8080, right, XT80, right, and 386SX, right, 486SX. So my latest product after 5.5 years of my researcher job was the notebook, first color notebook PC developed or manufactured in Korea. So by this one. So I went through many of these computer engineering at the same time, but without having the major, but that inspired me to do further, to prepare me as another engineering that lead me to the engineering of networking, what we so-called telecommunications. And then telecommunication actually gives also a way that you can think not only the technology, law, industry, regulation, and also international development. So nature of this telecommunication was very interdisciplinary. Then formally in '94, when I went to University of Colorado Boulder to start this new discipline. At the time, there's no IT department. Okay? It was 89. No, it was 94. Okay? There's no IT engineering or IT. So, but where they have a telecommunication major, right, as a master, I started to learn about internet, computer network, others after that. And that brings me to have a thinking about whole system, the study, and in real professionalism, need to be educated in a very holistic way, interdisciplinary way, and to be connected with all different major together. That means you should be able to speak many languages from different sciences. Right? Yeah, difficult, more job, more things to do. You have to combine and sometimes probably compare and which one how. But that gives you scale up and make your perspective broader to see how those are all meaning in the world, in the universe. So that gives me an inspiration but during the time when I study, I got also education from the World Bank that giving me a nature and scholarship to have a vision for the global society. So my picture goes back to the first year of my master in '94, what we so-called Economics Institute, where all the people from the global society are coming to be educated for some economics, for the preparation of graduate school. Because they knew that the many people from around the world may not adapt to the graduate school level, right, without preparation, and they gave a preparation, including me. And at the time, I was very also blessed like you at the time I started to have a dream. Let me make such kind of thing in the future as a real one, either as a business or either as a university. And at the time, I did not know whether I would be the professor anyway. But I was exposed to the place there where we can do the study in many disciplines, and that lead me to also. And then after that, after having this telecommunication, I knew that 2 years is not enough, right? To know that I know something. I think professors knows that, right? 2 years, so fast. Not enough that I'm really master of something. No. I still do not have a philosophy at the time. So without knowing what I will do after the PhD, I also applied for the PhD. And they get accepted. In '96, I started my PhD program in one of my university, which I love so much, University of Pittsburgh, where I study information science and telecommunication as my final major. Well, I think after 4 years in 2000, I luckily actually got a defense and also got a professorship from the Syracuse University, which is another very good university, ranking #1 in information science, and then admitted as an assistant professor. But I was a real strong researcher by that time. Well, my professorship comes starting from the 2000. As you can see now, we are 2022, right? And then I have a 22 or 23rd year of my professor starting now. Well, after I have maybe another 10 years to finish my maybe social age of the university, or maybe long. But with this understanding, I realized that there's a great demand of having, teaching, learning different ways than what I learned, what we learned. The one I studied was still new. In year 2000, my study was like something about Zoom call. My study was something about WhatsApp. My study was about how you combine and about the Google. It was how the Google connect with the network, Indonesia Telecom. Right? And then also engineering combined with techno-economics. Yes, now that my thesis dissertation still apply to now. I mean, that means a good thesis. Right? I was asking very philosophical and educated to see the vision which may create the value for another 50 years or another time of my final age of a scholar or life. Well, that's what we call philosophy. So I've been devoting to this philosophy, loving to the wisdom and knowledge from the beginning, now as an expert or as a professional since the PhD, which was 2000. Okay. And that gives me a blessing to teach the people all around the world. In 2000, I really also researched a lot and also applied a lot. I got a funding from National Science Foundation, from one of the largest funding in our school as the young professor. Just 1 year of my experience, I got that over. It was a big celebration. At the time, it was 400,000, like on the middleware development, right? How to interconnect, and for the bandwidth exchange or bartering and things like that. But that bloomed from my thesis, from the simulation work to the engineering work. So anyway, such research effort made me to also walk and also travel and meet the people in the world, going to the conference, right? And also meeting the people and then following up with the friends, right? And that gives me a vision that let me be a global citizen. Yeah, not just a Korean, right? Then let me be a global human. How? First, I have to learn the people from different world. How I can do that? Let me create the scholarship. So I actually use a lot of my scholarship in the United States, that which I received, actually for the developing world, or the student from a foreign student, like myself, right? So I give the scholarship to the Pakistani student who are not professors, right? And also I give a scholarship to the also Turkish student at the time. They are now also the professor in Turkey. I gave a scholarship to the student who are from India, and I gave them. So that gives me a heart to being a professor or being a mentor or being a scholarship generator, right, creator for international students. And such capable mind has been probably attracting the kind of my home country's institution. Now we say Seoul National University, which is top one university in Korea, actually called me and then, are you interested in giving a lecture to us or giving us some speech like today? Yeah, I was very honored and happy, and so I went there, and then that was, I realized as an interview. So at the time I was actually, and then I finally also come back because they gave me that already Korean government committed to give a scholarship to all people in the world who are smart or will generate the knowledge for the digital transformation. So in the early of 2003 in Korea, we are already in a society where we say, talking about digital divide, and then we knew that there is need of leader like Agus or like Ida to be in a real places, to be educated how you do the digital transformation, and the leader of the digital science. So I was fortunate to be a director from the beginning, also my life in SMU in 2003. For the last 20 years, it was fortunate to manage the scholarship. That's how. Well, by this scholarship already, also I created another partner program in KAIST, another good institute in Korea. We actually educated more than 400 master and PhD scholars in the world, or as a digital leader, and with a master and PhD degree, over 80 countries. We were so lucky. And at the time, it was so hard. as you can see. Giving them with a great care as a mentor and being and then also let me share with the philosophy is not just giving of scholarship. You have to meet with them, be with them. You have to solve the problem together. Right? There's no day and night for the professors. Yes. Well, that's the dot you see. These are the places I have all my students. My friend knows it. My student Yogyong knows it. I'm meeting 8 of another alumni who are there in Jakarta tonight. And my another Indonesian PhD who are already reader in your society, I'll be waiting with them here. So, well, I want to continue this mission over next years of my life. I don't know when it will end, but actually that gives me the great mission to create the knowledge and the community and generate the community or department or school. That's what my vision. I hope I can share that vision with you. So why the need of these kind of, I will say, exponential education? I say exponential education because the value of creation should be much faster because the problem we are facing is a lot. COVID, what we are experiencing, who has solved the COVID? Why we cannot solve the problem? Why? The speed of solution what we have or creation knowledge to solve them is slower than actual the problem creation. Am I right? The solution we are being always late and it is not faster than, and then without exponential rate of education, exponential rate of knowledge development, not solvable. Am I right? We're in great need of improving human capability to speed up the knowledge creation that could create the solution. Only way is exponential education. Then how can we do the exponential education? How we can improve? We have to properly take out the all these barriers, right? Divides, right, between the sciences, right? And so that have more freedom. At the same time, also we have to probably have a different format of delivering and sharing knowledge, including metaverse, online, together with on-site, right? So different mechanism, and then you probably this exponential education might be possible, like I did to all around the world. Smart city or smart civilization naturally is a global science. Because civilization, really you need to have a science that applies to different culture. But all those are problems from the locally, right? Smart city expert of Korea or one city in Korea, can he say he's expert in the smart city in Lombok? Not possible. Then the best way that for me to educate the people is create and bring the problem from all around the world, let the people solve those ones down later. They are ready to solve any problem in the world. For that reason, we need to have to provide the solution faster for the COVID, the digital divide, the climate changes, what we have. At the same time, we claim already we are in the revolution. Change with a slow speed is not called revolution, right? Revolutionary change really who's high, who's low, even. If it's slow, not possible as we know, then we need to speed up that knowledge generation capability, what we call exponential education. And now fourth industrial revolution and this digital economy requires such kind of educational revolution, what we call exponential education. At the same time, the worlds are very segregated. In the university, the different school and faculty, right? In nations, different kind of ideology. Already that evil thing is coming up. Capitalism, socialism, right? If we see the China and the United States, and they are actually now going back to the value system what we used to have. Am I right? 70 years ago, World War II. We cannot let it happen again. We cannot leave it in this way. Only way is we need to speed up to create the way that we can have a capacity building or educate, and what we call exponential education. That's the only solution what we have to for the great transformation. UNNAM still need to play your role to do such kind of great transformation. I'm doing myself this one in our university. We have a campus. We actually, our university committed for the new campus, which we call Smart Campus, where I actually based the smart city education. It's called Smart Campus, and with a smart city capability. Electrical engineering, electrical car, autonomous car, and drone research, and also smart ship and smart shipbuilding, and so different ways of doing education. So there are a lot of experimental, educational, but the campus itself is a new city, like your new capital you are visioning in your country. Yes. Without the real thing to solve, it's difficult for you to learn. There's no textbook on the smart city. There's no gathered data yet. We have to solve the problem and the structure, and then use those knowledge as a structured knowledge to create the major or study. That's what I'm doing. So, but my vision is through the collecting the data and sharing the data as open data, and having the people to be smart, and we have a really technology, right, mixed with the knowledge, and finally it could be integrated places like university plays as a point of place where we can meet together. My friends has a place where people can gather in Sasak, what we say ballet tajuk. Do you know what ballet tajuk means? Some of you? Ballet tajuk. Ballet is a house, a place. Tajuk is point, but ballet tajuk means the place for gathering. Who's Sasak? You know what ballet tajuk means? Yes? Yes. We want to create a place in the university that we can call the ballet tajuk. Ballet tajuk, the place where we gather sometime, and also you always can come and meet sometime. Right? Well, in old days, in the civilization, we call these places we sometimes call these, places, we call agora, maybe Athens, right? And also polis, right? Rome, right? A place we can gather and solve the problem, discuss for the public, for the social. Yeah? It's not a house of individual one. It's not a room of individual society. Everyone can be there. Ballet tajuk, Sasak. Am I right? Yes. So I dream for, then you need some of the environmental system where we can do. So bringing the technology, bringing the system that allows the people to do communication and teaching and sharing knowledge better. So I'd like to actually really invite some of you later, by conference or studying in these new camps. I'm still developing. Maybe I have another 5 years to complete. Maybe just only 1/3 of the part already. And we have a very nice also smart city center, but eventually also I'm developing, the 77-story building, what we call Going Tower, Global Open Innovation Network and Group Tower. So as a professor, I try to transform the society, not only just writing a paper, but my knowledge to be not only with that really practice in real society as a new infrastructure, new city, and new development. That's why I've been interested in study. But I think that is the role of the university. Let me ask you, university is symbol of education, and university is symbol of knowledge, university is symbol of leadership. Am I right? You come to university, become a leader. Am I right? Then, is our university as a leader has a value system and quality one generation advanced than any business or society or government? Is this facility, the way we speak, the knowledge you have, a value system, ethic, moral, love you have, an identity who you are, have a 30 years in advance than other people living in the society outside of the university? If we believe we are the organization committed to do the leadership, we should make our place in such a way. We cannot give us knowledge without practicing it. And that knowledge not practiced in my life and your life, in our society. We cannot teach the people outside. Can you? Then what should be our daily practice? What should be where is the place where we have a problem? Or what is first things to do? Changing the place where I am, we are at least make that this is real symbol for the new future society. If you believe you are the leader of the society. That's why I see that entrepreneurship, leadership, and commitment to do and make university better is the job not of dean or president or chancellor or founder or ministry. This is job of you student and faculty member that make our living place be the best quality and enhance smart place than other places where we really value and practice our ethical, moral, and also excellent knowledge into the practice with honesty and trust and love. I've been transforming in such a way that why I'm studying, why I'm teaching. But I realized that we need the entrepreneur, which means pioneering and creating a job, right? And then making a work and in a new place. Such kind of innovative challenge and braveness and courage needed. From whom? Leadership group. What is a future leadership group? University. We have to think seriously. The problem of the world is not the responsibility of just outsider or your existing society or leader. This problem is yours, our. We are the first one who have to provide the solution. Maybe those problems you did not create. You are not the original creator. But maybe this is by our humanity. But if you believe you are the true leader, or we are, we should commit to this one. To take care of the thing that someone created, that could be our father or ancestor, but they did their best. That's how the humanity have been evolving. Yes, this is the by fact, but you see over 100 years how much we advanced. I know all the knowledge always come. Those knowledge I speak now is also will get old. And then you will speak much better thing. But that means that we should create and take a responsibility of humanity. I hope the knowledge we actually, with the entrepreneurship, is not belongs to only young men or these are the entrepreneurship need to be belong to every generation in the world. If we feel that we are the leadership humanity or leadership citizen, that defines human in different way, that they are the leader of their own life. They are the owner of their own life. And they are responsible for their life, for themselves, but also caring others. This is the teaching that has been going through, but now we have to do it smart way. So in that way, I knew that we need such kind of smart entrepreneurial ecosystem to build. I'm glad that August is now teaching also your entrepreneurship course as coming back as a PhD. I hope many of you actually take that course too, in a 4 year or so. And so in order for me to practice on the problem, I defined 10 value systems, which I'm not going to go all over. I'm going to give you through August and Ida, and all my World Bank course where I actually talk about, and you can take it free, right, and get the World Bank certificate. Okay. So there's a self-learning course that eventually also I'll come back with some of the Q&A, but knowledge transfer, probably you can get us at least basic languages. So by doing so, for the need of education, that I create a department, okay, major, integrated major. Already for 2 years, 200 students entered the graduate. And then they also received the scholarship. Definitely, in order to promote the new discipline, I raised the money. Yeah, right? You should not ignore the fact that we need the money or resources to run the organization. That money, not necessarily for the money of someone's wage, but at least these money need to promote scholarship, student, right? Because studying in the graduate school, right, without good stability of money is difficult. Am I right? After age of the 22, why I should ask my mom and father to give me the money for the graduate study? Am I right? Then how can we do that? But you need to have a good study on it. Then someone should give a scholarship. I do, and we do. Yes, we teachers are committed. What we mean in creating a graduate school in our university, UNAM and SNU, on new discipline, means we plan to be responsible, having or generating the good scholarship or research money. Right? I think August and Ada, Ibu, Budi, Pasek, right? Iqbal, who all received the scholarship, is committed to give you full scholarship when we claim that we are going to run the graduate school. Right? Let us commit to it, Professor, Dean. Am I right? Right? Yes. Let us free up from such a burden for the society to create the future. Why? What we are doing is not to get a job for ourselves. We want to spend our time to create the knowledge for what society needs. That's why we should give you the scholarship. Am I right? Then if they're taking care of the society with your knowledge, you are the leader. Everyone will call you Sir, Pa, Ibu, Professor. That's the starting point. I want the Lombok, UNAM's philosophy being really practiced in the graduate school so that we have a master and PhD, then they can spill off the value of Lombok, love of man, blessing of knowledge to the rest of our world as our graduate school. I believe there are already great environment in the world where you can meet the people from the world, you can get the knowledge from the many other, right, in the effective way. UN, World Bank, CTN, GCF, many other. For the last 20 years, I've been actually nurturing this ecosystem. I'd like to share that network with you. You can be partner or being there and then have access to share the knowledge and share the responsibility of the society, right? Definitely World Bank is responsible for the international development of humanity. Aren't we? Aren't UNAM responsible for the humanity? Development? We are. We are sharing responsibility. We are the partner. Right? Let's have a vision to create our graduate school with a strong commitment to prepare the future. I think we have a capability. I know how excellent professor the Professor Pasek is. I know how excellent professor that Professor Iqbal is. I know how committed Professor Ibu Budi is, a great, excellent researcher and mom, carer and manager. Am I right? You know that? Who took Professor Budi's course? Am I right? Yes. You know that. You know that. They're the model of us. They're the model of the humanity. Let us create the condition and support for our leaders to make that vision to be possible. Without your great willingness, our leader will have a little bit difficult time to make a new creation. But with you students, with support to your leader, your professor, then this will be possible. Please give your full trust and need, and also challenges that, but willing to share that challenges from you to give to our leaders, our professors, who are willing to create this new research farm or research institute or school in your university. I see from your light, I see already, I know the UNAM student from the Kakaya and I did together. From your light and from your side, I know you will do excellently making the best graduate school, not only in Indonesia, best in the world, especially on what? Sustainability. Sustainability need a study and science because we are all trying to solve the sustainability. Am I right? But very difficult to define because it's complex. That's why we need the sharing, we need the cooperation. We have all different disciplines, but we all want to solve the sustainability issue, right? But you know the Lombok is right model and we have a great capability to keep that value. Am I right? We keep our languages, Ballet, Tajuk, right? And we keep our tradition, we keep our values. That is already symbol. Right, team? Yes. Let us to create the, some of the way that we can be specialized and number one and super and supremacist in the world as a science. I think that is a stability. In order for us to take sustainability practice, then probably I think we need to. For me, it was smart city. Because city represents civilization and development. But city does not mean that rural is actually that city or not. Our new civilization, smart city, represent there's no urban nor no rural. Okay? Because everyone benefits this smartness. Right? And rural and urban, right? There's no such kind in cinema civilization, then everything can be smart citizen and smart civilization. That's the new meaning of city. All community in the world will be living in the city, but the city and citizenship could be different from what we define now. That's how the science of smart city will teach you what to do. So, at SNU, I'm already working on some of the project together, with the group to build the infrastructure. But these, such kind of also practice will be also identified in the future in your school when you create the school. And also new development in practice. Certainly the development, it's a new development, but regeneration, redevelopment is also possible. And then I have a vision to build also where that we can have ballet tajuk, like in a form of building. Okay, right? But this is 77 story. That means largest and tallest building, at least among university building. Okay. And some already strategy to host international knowledge organizations and who can share. I hope also Indonesia and also be there together as a G20 presidency and with your strong leadership and commitment to create a great school. Without commitment to create the knowledge, you cannot be in this kind of community. But if we committed to the area where can we be, we will be the leader of sustainability. Definitely, I strongly believe you have a great scholar, professors, and environment, and students that we can commit for the sustainability. So I'm not going to go over too much. The reason why I see is in such university environment is to a very good framework to create 3 levels of innovation system. First, regional innovation, right? Certainly, Unnam plays very important role for the regional development. Am I right? For the Mataram, right? Right? And for the province. Am I right? And same thing we do in Korea, Seoul University. Not only in the regional, we need to play a leadership and flagship, especially on sustainability as a research organization in national level. And we National University, Unnam, you are, am I right? We are studying in National University. Why our nation created the university for us? You got to be a leader of the nation. Yes? Yes? How many big population we have? We need a lot of leaders. Yes, national innovation system. Finally, we are asking university to create global innovation system. That's what we are doing between SNU and Undam. Let us create a national, regional, and also global innovation together as a global community with as a practice of great transformation for the sustainability. The time we are having is a great activity for us to pursue and progress for the new innovation system. Why this new innovation system may need? By the way, I call that innovation system called the generative innovation system theory. It's my theory. No one ever heard that, okay? That picture with that, generative, GNR, global, national, and regional, okay? Generative innovation system. So why we need such kind of exponential education to be achieved through the the generative innovation system, right? And through the university, because university is a source of civilization and citizenship, right? What citizenship do you have? Yeah, politically, socially, it's maybe Indonesian, right? And what other citizenship you have? Citizenship of the heaven. Okay? What citizenship you have? In the future, smart citizenship or global citizenship? Yes? What we are talking about is humanity. What we are talking about is a human in the global, right? What we are talking about is a human under God, right? And then that's such citizenship. Universities should give a unification of the humanity, right? Then they can actually get together to solve the problem that we are facing. At the same time, we save. The save meaning for the future, saving for knowledge for the future, but saving the problem of what we have and that someone need. Some saving. Don't you need to be a savior for others? If you're the leader, be responsible to save something for others. Budi, Iqbal, and Pasek, whom I respect a lot, have been saving their capability and their heart and love a lot for you. They have still a lot left to share such love and knowledge another 20 years. Don't you want to save yourself to see that your knowledge and sharing love and virtue to share with others for your next generation? If you're committed, you're not only the leader, you will be a great father, mother, great ancestor of the new generation. I hope you pursue to be a leader, to be written in human history. That's why university is needed in our society. Am I right? This is great invention of our society since Aristotle. This is great. Let us make it to prosper with another invention from our value system for the global society. In Korea, in my practice, I already created City Lab. Now we are actually have our lab or our department to be a center, what we call innovation center, which actually builds all innovation system, right? And then or in our local and citizen, and also city, but also working with the global or regional and national. Finally, the university we dream for in our campus is also should be a major innovation district of city of Seoul and Seoul. It's good that Mataram and University of Mataram is already in the middle, on the center of Mataram, right? And let us to be the innovation district, right? Of whole Mataram. So everyone actually learn from us and copy us, then make their living place and building better. Who can do that? We can do that. We have an architect, we have an engineer, constructioner, we have a programmer. Why are we asking to do someone else? We can do that. Our university has more than 50,000 student and faculty members. Why are we asking someone else to build our one? You can do that. If you truly believe this is your school, if you truly believe this is your town, if you truly believe you are the citizen of Unnam. I am citizen of SNU, I am citizen of Korea, but I am citizen of the university. That's why I am doing in Korea. I hope you do that role in here. Well, I'm not going to share too much in detail, but our life in the future will be different, using technology and maybe more interacting with the data. But data we use will have people to have a more connection, inspiration. So like you are exposed to the more information through the internet, right? The future, what you will face is you will know more people, you will communicate with more people. And eventually you will have a lot of more friends. But like a friend, really you are meeting in person from your old, not just online friend. That's the future. I hope you'll be ready to deal with such a great relationship in your life. That is the future. We will have a station. We will have a different building. We will have a different ways of sourcing energy. And these are disciplines that will be taught in this Department of Smart City, Global Convergence. I hope I can share with you. Let me give one brief one that how we can strategize what is the future. The city in the future will not be on the city on the land. City in the online or virtual, those are connected. I will say that is Smart City 3.0. So 3.0 actually represents some way our real life and tourism and business are reflected through some of the form of what we call digital twin. Right? Many of you are probably aware. Okay. Then those digital twin already also upgraded to the also interactive with the metaverse, where we can have another place to meet, where we can have another place to create the knowledge, where we can actually share more effectively. Yes, such kind of education will be done. Definitely this university will build a new building, but also with the digital twin and also metaverse, where Professor Pasek can teach a student 100, but like a teaching a student, a pen student interacting together. Yes, that is a creation what we are expecting, then hope, and I'm already teaching my courses on the, on the metaverse, and with, in this smart city, I would like to share such kind of educational methodology with your faculty members soon. So I'm not going to go over, but I think there are the great ways that how we can maximize the way how we. Definitely metaverse is not a discipline of one or like a information technology. This one to be used by anyone like you do internet. And we do a lot of education in Korea, and also linking the metaverse to our real society. Such kind of study and practice to be done in here. Well, I already have an hour given to me, right? So thank you. Today, I know as we can see how many, I think it could be 300, 400. I mean, thank you very much for your attention. I'll be happy to answer to any of your questions, and also look forward to having coming. I'll be coming back soon, and also we have a lot of innovation. The center we are creating, and we'll do many also education exchange. Definitely improve the kind of scholarship opportunity, both in Korea and in Undam. That is my vision. Thank you, and hope we have some questions. Thank you.
Thank you to Professor Jun Sok Hwang of Seoul National University as the main speaker, and Mr. Iwayan Agus Arimbawa as the Master of Engineering as the moderator in this session. And moving on, the next agenda is question and answer session, which will be guided by our moderator today, Mr. Iwayan Agus Arimbawa. Time and place are yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's always like when I always loves to hear his lecture. Every time I love to stay next to him because of the power, the fire that comes from him. We have heard that every leader starts from the university. You will be the leader, my students. So we will start from the university as a small innovation center. We can experiment, we can practice together. You already have your power. So we are here, the lectures will provide everything for that. So now if you have any question, please. Ya, Anda bisa bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia. Saya akan menerjemahkan, so I will translate. Jawabannya juga akan kita translate.
Hello, sir. My name is Muhammad Rafi, and I am from the first semester in informatics engineering. I am from the A class. So I have a question for you about the implementation of the metaverse on a smart city. So you just explained that in Korea you have implemented metaverse into your city, one of your city. So my question is that, can you give an example for what is the implementation for metaverse in a smart city? Thank you.
Thank you. Already that digital twin has been, in the real practice. Now, metaverse is in a way of research and development. So I would say that full implementation of the city level is not yet. That's why I brought this one as a 3.0. But future business, I'm now but doing business together with our research laboratory. So our also lab not only do these practices, but also I have currently with our student, have a firm called Digitology Institute, which will do the smart city education through the metaverse, but that is linked to our university campus. So currently a lot of now competition and development, new products are coming in, but there's no one yet, in a citywide level. But that's why I'm bringing as also new research area that, we are doing. So as a new future, as a vision. So, but soon probably I would be able to share with you when I come back to do another lecture in January. Probably I think I should be able to actually give us some of the implementation cases, what I did. Okay? Thanks.
Ya, silakan, ada yang lain?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, distinguished audience. My name is Raisa from the Department of Informatics Engineering. So, first of all, thank you so much, Professor Huang. My question is coming from this one. It all started from the university where we learned about our ethical and our moral and anything that had bigger role for the sustainability. So my question is, smart city starts with smart education. At the same time, when you want to build a smart city, it comes with a cost, right? And also at the same time, we are facing a poverty, and not all of the kids had the great chance to pursuing a better education in the college. So for you, I want to ask from your perspective, which one is better than actually spending our costs at? Instead we're doing it for the education, for bettering the education, or only for bettering for our smart city and improving our government, any of this. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Very good and smart question. Yes. Well, I think city as a administrational team and the government kind of district or infrastructure, in the infrastructure level or development level, certainly nation and government has a great interest to improve over the time. Yes. That's why also always public and play better. But can we say a city with empty population? No. And city with the people who do not know what smart city is, right? And also city who don't know what the citizenship, or city who smart city that their city do not call their city smart. Then how we can define smart city? For me, because I say that smart city is a symbol of smart civilization through the smart education that where smart citizen creates. Once we all become a citizens of smart or smart citizen by our new value that we are pursuing, definitely we already create a citizenship here, and this is already city. Definitely we are proud to be a citizen of smart. Then who's gonna build this infrastructure? Not people from outside. You, we, who will be living. The smart citizen build the infrastructure, build the city, not build the government. Okay. Well, government and other agencies will support, but with this strong commitment from the smart citizen, right? Let us to be the leader and let us to be the smart citizen for the society first, and let this education to finally let us to build all the things that what we want for yourself. Certainly, I hope you to be the owner of these big buildings. I hope you to be the owner of all these travel business. I hope you to be the owner of this university as a smart citizen. That's different. Maybe before our education and human capability were lower than social value, maybe, but not now. What is ultimate law? It's a human. Now this is time to human to evolve, to be the Lord and to be the owner of this civilization. I hope you be yourself to be equipped together as a smart citizen. Then finally we can get together, build our city, build our island, build our university, and smart city start with education, with the citizenship, smart citizenship. Thank you.
Yeah, very good question. Another one? Wow, we have so many questions. Please. Oh, good. You're very active. So we like to see. As a lecturer, I always love to see that someone wants to speak up and raise their opinions. Yeah, please.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Galih Dimas Aryoso. I am a 5th semester student majoring in electrical engineering in special field of telecommunications. Now I want to ask from the actual problem of our society. In Mataram, our society is not familiar from the technology. So if we want to become a smart city, we must to familiar with the technology. Now, I will ask how to change the stigma of people who are not familiar with technology. For example, there are still many who are not familiar with technology, so they sometimes reject our form of change. How to overcome that? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely also very wise man. What's your name?
Galih Dimas Aryoso. Galih Dimas Aryoso.
Karim?
Galih.
Karim?
Galih.
Galing. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Galih. Have a
Yes.
seat. Yeah. Well, very, very wise question. Yes, definitely technology is not knowledge of engineering anymore, only. Now, technology is a universal knowledge for everyone. That means technical literacy in create different level needed for everyone. Generally, many of our living product and also information, right, and also internet led us to be closer to the technology already, right? And so we should assume that now we will use technology like our languages. Think about it. Maybe 100 years ago, how many of our population would be able to write? Not many, right?
Yeah,
And it was hard to use our old letter, right? And before Bahasa, and that lead us to probably create the Bahasa in alphabetical format. But finally now we teach everyone with the languages, and we can communicate not only verbally, right? But also, in the written format, in many other formats in computer, right?
Right.
Technology now plays in that way. That's what we say technological literacy or digital literacy. And most of the technology what we are using these days actually are connected with IT or data or digital. You cannot imagine any technology without electricity. You cannot imagine any technology without smart technology. Or you cannot think about any technology without like a processing and, am I right?
Right.
So that means the technology is already embedded in every display, every application, every business. That means you need to study technological technological nature and should be able to manage the technology, analyze the technology, or use the technology, or improve the technology, or create the technology. There are different ways being an expert of technology, but this is not the only domain for engineering. Okay?
Right.
Now all of your science should adopt the way how you use the technology, and that may reform many of our way of dealing knowledge. I think that is the must. In that way, maybe our professor need to probably committed to discuss such kind of thing in the higher level to how to make that happen. But your suggestion is very important, and that's what we are doing in Korea. We already create the AI major, but open to all discipline. Okay?
Right.
Human science or the law, administration, accountant, they apply to also AI. Okay?
Okay.
So let us to think that where are the technological literacy, right, advanced area that where you can have another languages. Okay, thank you.
Right. Thank you. You're up.
Yeah. Another one? Yeah, okay, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Excuse me, my name is Abdi Apriyadi. I'm from informatics engineering. I'm a new student in it. I'm from the class A, the international class. I have a basic question. If you see the situation in Indonesia, is it cool to implement the smart city innovation in Indonesia, and how long the time we need to build it, and what aspect we're going to start to build it? Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think smart city, it's ever evolving concept of citizenship, right? So there's no, but I think in what level we can say this is the at least foundational smart city. I already mentioned the citizenship. If there is no one who can create or build, right, that smart city, or who knows what smart city is, then you cannot make it. So definitely we have already studied education. Many researchers, Bandung Institute of Technology, Uni, and also there are a lot of your professors who are in the level of doing research at this moment. That is actually beginning of a smart city development as an education. As an infrastructure, what we say is generally smartness comes from the information. Am I right? And then information comes from the data. Then the city or infrastructure citizens should have a good capability to share the data or to generate the data, right? And then such kind of data-driven innovation or data infrastructure very important for the smart city. And how much are we capable of using the public data already computerized or our individual data? How many data are we collecting now here? Where should be the data to be generated in our real life, and where? So we need to strategize. That is very complex. But if Unnam would be able to have a powerhouse to create the data, because you already have a 50,000 population, then let yourself to generate the data with good cooperation with the university, and university will guarantee that privacy of you to be well protected, and create the data center using those data, and create many smart apps to do and to keep the safety of our people and students, right? And also to reduce any risk, right? And also applying those also data to the also building when earthquake comes, and then earthquake can be probably risk of disaster can be reduced. Yeah, it's not outside, okay? Can we create a data infrastructure that will let us to have reduce or minimize the effect of another earthquake? I think possible. How long was it ago we have such disaster, destroyal earthquake in this island? It was just 3 years ago. Am I right? Did we solve the problem? Did we solve the problem? No, because we don't have a data. We just recovered, but we didn't solve the problem. This recovery came from a lot of support from outside or government. Am I right? And your effort? But it was just recovery. Now we need to do research to solve the problem. Am I right? That's the starting point. Don't expect the city will build by someone else. You got to be building yourself. You say you are the information engineering, or what? What's your major? What is your major?
Informatics engineering.
Yeah, informatics, right? Yes. Then you have to collect the data
Yes.
from all these buildings and everywhere, and students and so think of wise. I think already your Professor Ida and also Agus have been actually dealing with many of those problems from the beginning. Okay? So let us to create some community where we can collect and solve the problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ya, kita di kampus membuat sebuah tempat untuk itu. Jadi kita we in the campus we will we have already the data center. So that's depend on our creativities of research that we will done there. So step by step, in a small first, in the campus scale first. So we will do research, we will practice, and so that our technology can be spread up to our regional level and national level, and also in the future international level. We are ready to do that, and we need your cooperation. We need your hard work to do that. Smart city is not built like we have a time frame, but it's evolved. Okay, Professor Huang said because he loves to hear from you, we will open so many questions today. So it's not limited by time. Yeah, maybe we will limit later, but for now, I still we see a lot of people raising their hands. So please.
Cek.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Zafran from the Informatics Engineering. I'd like to hear your opinion. What is the most common problem we should fix to make Lombok a smart city? Because I think we have some problems that we need to fix. For example, the traffic jams, the city planning. But what do you think are the fundamentals to fix these common problems? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very good question. But going back to the question, if we want to have for the timeline that every citizen, right, as a universal level, in your citizen to benefit from the smart city, generally as a master planner, generally we do master planning for 5 years, right, to be practiced. So 3 years too short for the data collection and practice. So minimum probably around 5 years the timeline for the universal level of at least one or so several services to be deployed in the smart city with this master plan, and so you can start. But I think without planning you cannot make it, right? And so master plan and smart city plan or smart campus plan need to be built. Now I don't think we have, but I think we should build that one, right, in the city level and university. And going back to your question, for Lombok, Okay, I think, yeah, there are long history of many problems we have been facing, right? Disaster and other things, right? But the first thing I'd like to say is economic issues. We need to create the economic power for our Lombok, right? And we have a good number of human resources. But let them to, then that means in a period of when people labor working was a power, we are very powerful, right? The nation with the more population, right, was the strongest in the economic power. Am I right? So by looking in such way, now we are in an island, Indonesia, but at the same time, we have a good human resources at least. Secondly, but I think there's no enough resource generated by us or by some of our ecosystem. How can we create the economic power? By knowledge, by smartness. There are actually very sustainable economic model to do smart business, tourism, delivery, logistics. This needs a creativity. This makes you different. Who's gonna give you the new startup entrepreneurship in this island to be the place like a Silicon Valley? Not teachers, you. Don't try to be deployed and being a slave of someone's ownership. For you to be the owner, yes, it's difficult to take a risk. But how can you try to be an owner without taking a leadership? We are taking responsibility for other one's job. I'm going to challenge you that what is the future, that economy you are looking for in your community? Who has a responsibility? From my point of view, that let the people to have a great power, capability, to confident, to do their jobs, to do their thing, to generate the resources, which is enough for us to live, and we can share that extra resources to other islands. Who has such vision to share your resources with others? You. We. From my point of view, the whole point of the smart citizen, whole point of the smart education is for us to urgently to revive our economy in a level that we can be sustainable economically. At the same time, that sustainable economic and living power to become a source of another value creation, innovation, education. Finally, others benefit from us. Hope you show that economic prosperity by your hand, like Korea did after the Korean War, from the poorest country to one of the #1 innovation country in the world. That it belongs to you.
Yes, economic entrepreneurship is very important for us. Yep.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Daden Kasandi. I'm from Informatics Department. I want to give you a question. We know that Indonesia is a country that have many places, many islands. Indonesia is an archipelago. So the question is, why are you choosing Lombok as your place to do your research? Thank you.
Well, I don't think I choose Lombok. Lombok choose me. Well, but I was guided from my love, my wife. My wife actually came when she was actually single, and actually coming here for the service, social services, and on the very young age, she reminded such time, and then when we were marrying, and and then we were thinking that also the places for to revisit those things. Then she asked me to go together to Indonesia, into Lombok, and that was 15 years ago, which I told you. So my love chose me, and my love drive me to come, but I think that love of my wife and Lombok is chosen by God. Yeah.
Yes, our love, our God will guide us. Don't worry.
Okay, good morning everyone. I'm Nurul Kabi Zahrani. I'm from Informatic Engineering and I'm undergraduate, first year of college. So I really enjoy how Professor Jun Song Hong talked about smart city. So to build a smart city, you have to build a great teamwork, right? So my question is, how do you build trust and commitment with your team? Thank you.
Yeah, definitely the smart city as a kind of subject or the problem, very large scale, definitely. Just solving one problem is not copyable, or solving one problem that is not connected to the data or the knowledge, what we don't call the smart city solution. Okay, so in that way, the smart city in general should develop, plan, and research in the very diverse group and large, what I say large-scale project management. Okay. Definitely, you need to lead and would be able to communicate a lot of different stakeholders and different level, and that means you need a very strong leadership. You should be able to listen to the people from different languages and different value system. Right? And also complain, positive things, and right, and complaints, right, and reject, and also sometimes kind of appreciation. But in many different levels, you should be able to listen, but dealing with those all different kind of communication is very important as a leader. The second one, and then knowledge management. You should be able to have all these people in your community or research group development, right, team, they should be able to have, good sharing of the knowledge or information up to date, which are scaling up and the problem. Because as a director or leader, you cannot manage all information flow of all of yours, right? I cannot be a focal point and then occupied as a processor that my Professor Sadi mentioned. I cannot be a processor of everything. I cannot improve my CPU, right? Then, probably I should be chosen to process whatever I can, but I think there should be then another level of knowledge management, information that actually help the big community. Definitely this is, like a knowledge management, team leadership, and also project management. I think this one needs a very also important discipline and skill. Okay? So, but I was fortunate to being a kind of a professor that many students wants to get advice, and that means I have a lot of great community of students like him and she, and also many, and also my network in the world, gave me a capability to communicate and create. And finally, I have a team which are in the same value system, who we know what smart citizenship is. Okay? Definitely having more commitment on the value of what smart city we are pursuing together, citizenship, is more important than short interest, how much money we are all solving that only problem. Okay? I rather go to the one that who are committed, who can commit long, even though they are not fully educated in the beginning, But rather than who's professional, just do this one and then go somewhere else, I rather not to do the thing for the smart city development for that one. For that reason, I also do the smart city development with the local community and also done by the citizens, not by the people who will not live there. Why I do the smart cities actually research with you? Because I will be citizen of Lombok. I have a plan to live here after I retirement, or even in the middle, I try to move, some part of the year. So that's why I already, but in my heart, I'm your citizen. So let us to create the citizenship together, we are common, so that who will be living there should develop the place. Am I right? So that is the secret how I manage the team. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. My name is Muhammad Faizal Ebihar Maji. I came from Prodi of Informatic Engineering and currently in the first semester of my study. I have a question for Professor Huang about smart city. What is the limit of smart cities evolution in your opinion, and how far will it go in the future? That's all.
You are asking what is the limit of technology?
What is the limit of smart cities evolution in your opinion, and how far it will go in the future?
Limit of smart city evolution.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think you described right word. Yeah, smart city is evolutionary ecosystem and should be, so it start with small but it scale up over the time. Okay, but in terms of the technological implementation, we can specify the smart city, right? In the beginning, smart city as a city with like a city with the technical advancement. Okay, so that high-tech implementation some way that we call the city with the high-tech. That is first generation of smart city in many. So not necessarily every maybe technology acquainted with a strong data economy. Still, we call first generation smart city in many countries, and some countries still pursue without. But second generation smart city is where we consider innovation center, right, and data center. I mentioned, and data driven smart city where we have a data sharing and law regulation and public support and economy and business to support data collection and driven. What we call the second generation smart city. And then third generation, which I say smart city 3.0, were the one where it evolved from the real city infrastructure into the digital twin, right? And also the metaverse, right? And then there's no limit of physical places, right? Which can be more interactive managed with online and offline to be combined, integrated. That is 3.0. And I don't think there's a limit of evolution. I think the smart city will be ever evolutionary as long as everyone becomes smart, but smartness is also kind of the characteristic of knowledge that no one can say I am smartest, right? And so in that way, the truth is not one that you can divide and one only God is Allah is the truth that, as we know in philosophy and religion, that means smartness is actually ever growing. So I think that's why also it's a good way of civilization, right? To solve the problem and to as a humanity. So there's no limit, and by doing so, but for me, I have a submission. Maybe currently the city with population of 150,000, right? That is why we call just small city, right? As a civil city. Anyway, the community with that size, right? To be smart, right? Currently, those size of the cities in the world or community are around 4,000 in whole world, right? And I believe that number may increase over the years, and then by maybe 2050 it may reach around 5,000. So my vision is probably by that time in 30 years, right? 30 years from now on, or almost 30 or 28 years, by 2050, hope that 5,000 city to be smart, that the citizen can say, yeah, our city is smart city, because they know what smart city is by their definition, by their plan. So I think there's no limit, but I think there's a definitely goal, that strategy you need to accomplish. For me, for next 30 years, I'm committed to help those 5,000 cities in the world. That is my vision. That's why I'm also coming here and going to other cities to make them to learn and plan and to do and helping them to do civilization. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. I'm Esas from Electrical Engineering on the 5th semester, focusing on telecommunication. So all we talk about this now is about smart city on the positive side, the bright side. But I think there is some bad side, dark side that could have happened. So let's say that Mataram city become an advanced smart city. So I think there will be some bad people that would do something that breaking the law. So there in smart city, in Mataram city, there will be a lot of autonomous car, self-driving car, drone who surface that package food and other things. A lot of IoT or Internet of Things. So let's say that these bad people trying to hacking into government apps, let's say. So it will be bad for the city to work or process. Maybe they can stealing data. Maybe they can spying on us. Maybe they can do something bad. So my question is that how to prevent this from happening? Thank you.
Well, that's why the technology need to be developed, also managed and developed with good regulation and policy and public values. Definitely, you can use the science in many different ways. You can create the energy, but at the same time, you can create the bomb, like a nuclear. So the same way is, but it's not a matter of that only one on the smart city issues. These are a matter of any technology, what you're talking about. But if there's a good attention and management from both public and private side, this could be managed in a better way than what we used to have. I believe you teach engineering ethics for the developers, right? And there's a great morality and ethics needed for the engineering, but at the same time also, but to practice to avoid such kind of things, also good regulation and also law in place together. So that's why public and private are working together in the smart city project. And some of the innovation management way is what we call PPP, public-private partnership. Sometimes also we include the citizen to create some new ideas and implement, and that is called PPPP, public-private people partnership. So that in that way, everyone is well aware of it, and also data is very important, and drone should be probably given some authority, but over the time we will create the rule and culture. So in the beginning, that there will be some technophobia associated with that kind of thing, but I believe that there's no bad people. They need to be educated, but people are created not bad, but good. Yeah, that's my belief.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Another question? Yep, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. My name is Muhammad Zulhi Raihan from the Department of Informatic Engineering. My question is, what can we do as a student to convince our society about the concept of smart city is very important for our country? Thank you.
Yeah. How do you convince your father that you want to do something? How do you convince how do we convince my son to do something? Doing by ourselves, right? Showing in practice. Instead of try to teach I think no one would be able to implement something for the public without some of the real good example of the best practices. Then university is the right place for us to experiment and do the right practices and sharing that experience to the rest of the world. So I never teach the knowledge which are not truths. What that means that which is not truth. How I conform is that knowledge create a good thing by my practice or by someone else. Then I can say that is the truth to be taught. But I never consider someone that which I learned from the book only, but I never practice. Then I don't teach that. Then as a university, as a planner, you should be able to have a practice experience and also doing your life to be practiced. For example, I use renewable energy for solar panel, geothermal energy. I'm using also autonomous vehicle. I'm using a lot of data for my life. In that way, I can teach fourth industrial revolution. Okay? Definitely, that is very important investment for me too. But for me to teach the industrial revolution, I should live in a house of the smart fourth industrial revolutionary house. Okay? Our professors actually try to create the environment that we do everyday practice what we believe as engineering. If you want to convince the government, then we have to practice ourselves. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, we need to convince by doing. We need to convince by showing in a small area like campus, and later on with the government, and later on with the leadership.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Yes, please.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizky Insania Ramadhani. I'm from Department of Informatics and Engineering in the first semester. I have a question for you, Professor Huang. We all know in the process of building smart city, there must be many obstacles for us to face to finally reach our main goals. And adapting and facing those problems needs time, and it's not as easy as blinking. And I want to know, in your opinion, how many time or estimation time that we would get to finally reach Smart City 3.0. Thank you.
How much time that we need to reach Smart City 3.0?
Well, depends on exponential education, but depends on the scale, right? So exponential, 3.0 is not the zero, is not the level of the scale, right? So it's a level of the nature of something implementation, right? And for the small city or short, right, then definitely much faster, right? Large city and complex city, especially. And also the faster for the new development than the regenerative development. Smart city can be done in two ways. One is a city to be built newly from scratch. Then in that way you can do the design from the beginning much faster, right? But I think for the city that where you have
already existing, right, community and where. The most of the time that you have to spend the time to practice 3.0 is not just technology, the people's nature, culture, and behavior of living, right? And that is different thing, right? And how much your society is open to adopt a new culture really define. So I really cannot say that just one uniform number, but for those open society, for open innovation and data, like Korea, and with more freedom, much faster. So you may see maybe Korea would be the first country who may create the 3.0, as because of the nature what I mentioned to you. Okay? It will be definitely much faster than China, any other, and probably I think Singapore and Korea, probably could be many of us, probably in the area and also some of the city, and so, but you need that kind of condition. Okay? Yeah, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharul Amri from Informatic Engineering. Maybe my question is very standard and similar in the previous question, but I think it's necessary. I asked to Professor. My question is, we know Indonesian is a very big country and different from Korea, and in the sense that we are a big country and very diverse and multi race, and because Indonesia is a island country, and my question is, what approach to take is smart city, and so that city in Indonesia can implement the smart city, and the approach from different from Korea, and what does Indonesia need to achieve that, the smart city? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Indonesia is certainly a larger country, and also your political and public governance system different. Each region, your province has also different rules, and also they are very, self-autocracy to do the things their own. So I don't want to say in the national level, but certainly just data-related law and some other regulation in relation to e-government, or something in relation to the the transportation or infrastructure may be given by the nation, right, to give us some open innovation or some flexible way to regulate or new experimentation of the data. But I think the local or municipality need to commit, especially in the city level. And so Indonesian way of smart city is that every smart city will be different. Okay? I don't think there will be, but they are very harmonized in a way that actually, because with the basic, at least the data can be shared at the federate level, in the level. So one province would not close their data to others, right, other province. So in that way, that there's a good federation of data, but the way of planning of each municipality or Lombok or Mataram, the city will be different from Bali, because you have a different history, different culture, and diversity is much higher than Korea. And Koreans' life and vibe are very similar, common in the small, and then it could be a little bit easier for us, but for each island, and you have very different culture, different knowledge ecosystem, and then probably there should be some customized, right, and then capacity building or direction and plan for the smart city of all the city in Indonesia. And so I would say that how to manage that diverse, state, but also good thing, important thing is each city need to create their own plan. Well, okay, So, but you should not learn the plan from others. You should be able to create your own planning. Certainly, you see there's some practice from other cities, from Korea, but procedure standard. But I think the procedure and planning should be done by local. And over the time of planning, master planning, I think the leadership and expert to be educated already. So that is important thing which I suggest to Indonesia. And for Lombok, I would say that, like reaching to 3.0, I would not go too much to Lombok whole island, but, as a UNNAM, if we want to reach to UNNAM to 3.0, I think from my point of view, maybe starting next year, maybe at minimum 3 years, up to 5 years. So 3 years means you would be able to, if you do practice, really devote it, then some of your freshmen could, make here like a smart city right before you graduate. I think that's what I see if we want to do in the university level. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe we will limit the question until 4 more. Yeah, please, if you have one. Okay.
Check. Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Razaki. I'm from the informatics department. So I'm on 5th semester now. So in my head, I have a mindset about smart city. Smart city is a city with a lot of tall buildings and of advanced tools. So in Korea and South Korea and any other countries, I also see these things. So my question is that true about my mindset about smart city was? And if it's true, what if Indonesia that we know dominated with natural forests and natural areas, so it will reduce the natural forest. So it will, so Indonesia, we know Indonesia dominated by forests and natural areas. So how if my mindset about smart city was true? That is my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I don't think there's a need to develop existing forest further. I think recovering forest back to, and so I don't recommend our nature environment to be really all urbanized. I think we better keep the green as it is and think about actually using already developed area or developed land to be in a smarter way. Smart development, smart city is not about the new developing the existing or the forest others. No, so you have to think the development concept differently. Yes, I think very recent urban development, actually modern development, that made such kind of the insight about the development. No, what we are talking about smart city development is not such way. So in order for us to do that kind of development well, with the greenness and smartness and better development, then I think you need different ways of the professional and business model. How that can be done, we need to invest on the professional capacity building. Definitely government should provide some fund, right, to educate the people that if we have a vision. Who's going to build the new capital if you don't have people to really build? Are you going to have an international company to come over and build that? No. Then do we have enough people to have that, to build that? Maybe, maybe not. But they are the builder for the old way, a conventional way. Right? And let's think critically. We should not do the same way we do. Smart city is not a real estate business. It's a data business. It's a knowledge business. So, then probably leader of the smart city planning and development is different. It's not led by the construction company. It is not led by the property developer. Okay? But leaving that or moving that hegemony to the data scientist or leader or technology or innovation or management is not an easy thing too. That's why the competition. But let's not divide all these experts that who is the whole leader. But once they are educated in a common way, right, with a common vision, finally you become one team. So I'd like to say there's a great need of creating new community of practice if you want to build in a smart city, and you need a professional capacity building. That's why there's a need of a great graduate school in university. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Professor.
The next one.
Hello everyone. I want to ask some question, but before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Erwin. I come from Department of Informatic Engineering, and I'm in the first semester. As we know, this smart city will make the future better because it's what a lot of people dream about. But when this conceptual of the smart city can be applied in other country, there will be gap between the rich and the poor. So it will make the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. So the question is how the smart city can solve the gap between poor and rich. Thank you.
So the question is how to close the gap, economic gap between within the society. Is that what your question is? Am I right? So yes, yes, yeah. So the smart city generally, I mentioned the smart education, smart citizenship, right? And what is when we say city and what we say citizenship? What's the value of the citizenship? You approve or conform or accepting, respecting each other, that you can live together. That's the meaning of the citizenship. If someone's actually involved into that community or city or threatening others' life or sacrifice somewhere, we don't give a citizenship to those things, right? So there's sometimes that's why we have a kind of higher level of border for the foreigners, right, to be a citizen. Then let's go back to then smart city, right? And then I say smart city can be realized, built by the smart citizenship. Then who has a citizenship? Then living together. Who has a citizenship to living together? For everyone. Everyone. They should not be a poorer or the richer by these new technological innovations. Definitely inclusive innovation and also more sharing to be possible, and also caring with the higher value of the citizen. Do we share the citizenship that we want to live together? Well, we have a Kakayan. That's why we are teaching and we are doing Kakayan. Kakayan. Right? Not just do the minimum. Do more what you do. Don't just do the requirement. Do it their daily practice. Am I right? Yes. We should have such citizens that it is not given by law or regulation, and we, you, and smart citizens should have such a sharing concept of living together. Living together doesn't mean that everything should be same, but at least such threatening gap should be reduced. Our enemy is not the people who are threatening, our enemy is that gap, right? To divide our values and trust. So definitely we need to solve that problem, but we need to solve that problem together. I don't believe smart city, right? Development of smart city will widen the divide. It should and close the divide. Thank you.
I think one more question.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aryan Fatur Rahman. I'm from Informatic Engineering in first semester. Smart cities are usually related to advanced technology. And my question is, can a city or a country that has a lot of advanced technology be called a smart city? Thank you.
So your question is, with the advanced technology, with the city, with the advanced, can be called a smart city or not? Is that your question? Well,
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mentioned that smart city generation 1.0, okay? Well, certainly some part of city in Korea, right, already that city with high tech, and we call that smart city, okay? And that city does not have a fully integrated data infrastructure yet, but a very advanced one. Yeah, so we can call it, but you should remember we started this smart city before ubiquitous city project or information city project led by both government and private 20 years ago. 2003 was the year that National Plan for the Ubiquitous City and Civilization and Planning was started by our nation. So it is not a miracle that Korea now has a discipline and study a graduate school in the major teaching this one, because we already have 20 years of kind of community or expert who have been doing business or development for the national R&D and development practices. Yeah, certainly in such generation that there is the city defined with the technology. For that reason, yes, we can call, definitely there should be a good advancement of technology, but those are not necessarily the advancement that what we have, everything right there, but for the value of the good citizen life, right, for the value of, and also citizens should be aware of that technological literacy, what we discussed before. So citizens should be able to have a good understanding that technology is needed for all of us. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I think we had a great lecture and great question and answer. Now we have a new visions of how the smart education will done here in UNRAM. And also we have discussion about smart cities and how to build smart city from the campus and up. So once again, give a big applause to Professor Huang for this lecture. Yeah, by that, I want to close this session. So thank you very much for the audience, for the honorable deans, and also honorable our deans of engineering, deans of informatics, and all the lecturers come together here now, especially for our students. We will wait for you, for your commitment, for your involvement in our mission to transform, to do digital transformations in the society. Thank you very much. I will give it over to the MC.
Thank you very much to Professor Junsok Huang for the inspiring answer. And last but not least, thank you very much for the questions from the audience and also for your excitement. And I would like to remind you to scan the QR code that's shown in the screen to prove that you're present this morning. All right. By the ending of the question and answer session, our general lecture event also ended this morning. If there is any mistake or shortcomings, comes from me, Jocelina Rizky Bimantari, as the Master of Ceremony. I apologize sincerely. Good day, everyone, and thank you very much for your presence. Oh ya, sekali lagi kami ingatkan untuk para peserta silahkan men-scan QR code yang ada di screen untuk sebagai bukti presensi hari ini. Terima kasih.